What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of What the Truck. You got Solomon here, and today we're here with Josh Wojciechowski and his awesome 1969 Ford F100, and it's known as the LSF 100. You'll find out why. And we're just going to preface this whole video with, if you guys like to make comments about LS stuff, just don't watch the video, don't drop any comments, because we don't care. It's all love over here. So, what the truck, Josh?
Yeah, so this is my 1969 Ford F100. It's got an LS3. It's 11.6 to 1 compression. It's forged pistons, forged rods, all balanced. CNC ported heads, Holley high ram, Holley everything, Holley Terminator X, Holley Pro Dash in it. Use it to race mostly. We'll drive it anywhere, it doesn't matter. Put it here. So, bunch of carbon fiber, as most of you can probably see from Muncie Speed Design. Jeff Muncie over there, he's a big supporter, great guy. He makes a pretty quality product for the F100s, and he'll make it right with you. So,
how did you end up with the truck? Like, what was the story behind it? Is there a story, or it's just you wanted a truck, you got a truck?
So I was looking for a project at the time, and my father-in-law had this truck, and it was originally a long bed pickup, old farm truck. My father-in-law was the second owner of it. He had it for like a year and a half, and it kind of got beat up in his possession. He had a hit and run done on the front end and some other stuff, and then it had a 360 and a 3-speed in it, and it was just tired and smoked a lot, and so he stopped driving it. And so I was looking for a project, not one that I ever anticipated to end up like this, but just something to keep me busy. And so I bought it from him for $700 or $800, something like that. And I ended up, when I first got it, I pulled the 360 and the 3-speed out and put a 460 and the C6 in it, kind of drove it around for a year, liked it, hated the carburetor, then decided at that point I was going to do an LS motor. I'd been doing a lot of LS swaps at that time, and so I put a 5.3 in it. Before I even got it running, I decided I want to short bed swap it, so I shortened the frame, bought an original short bed for it that I found locally, luckily. And then kind of before I even got that running, I ended up deciding I wanted to go turbo with it. So I put a turbo on it, had some tuning issues, went through 2 motors, kind of said screw this, and ended up putting an LSA supercharger and a 5.3 in it after that. Ran it for like 2 years. At that time it was mostly all blue. There was no carbon fiber or anything on it. It was kind of more just a pretty little show truck at the time, and kind of got bored of that. So I did a Good Guys event in Denver and found out the truck was a lot heavier than I had ever imagined, and so kind of decided to put on a weight loss program. And so kind of ditched everything under the hood. It's all gutted now. Carbon fiber fenders, carbon fiber front bumper, obviously front bumper to lead. Ditched the supercharger and iron block and went to the LS3. Ditched the inner fenders and went kind of full race truck mode with it. And so makes the same power as it did before, but we dropped 400 pounds out of the truck.
Nice.
And so it was worth it. It races a lot better. It does a heck of a lot better. So now the truck's like 3,550 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, so it worked out really good. So everything's done by me. The whole motor's built by me. I Cerakoted the motor myself in my garage at home. Built all the intake tubing.
How hard is it to Cerakote? So I remember you doing that stuff, and I thought it was really cool, and I'm actually very intrigued by it.
A lot easier than I had imagined it would have been. So I went to Biotech, and I know how to do paint body. Basically, if you know how to paint, you can Cerakote. I will say that Cerakote is like water. I was really worried about it at first, but you kind of get your first coat on there, and you dust it on. You use a super fine tip, and once you get your first coat on there, you're pretty much good to go. And then you get your second coat, and you're good. But is
this the one that cures itself?
Yep. So it's air dry.
Okay. So it's less high heat, right? But it's still perfectly good.
Yeah, and I think from what I read and from what I understand about it is it's actually, because it air cures and isn't hardened by heat, it's more durable.
Okay.
So, and I believe it. This motor has held up fantastic. It's the first time I've ever Cerakoted anything, And I was really nervous about it because, of course,
That was one of the things I loved about the truck, dude.
yeah, you don't want to build a motor and then have all the paint peeling off of it, because then either you deal with it or you take it apart and you redo it, and that's not fun either. And
you Cerakoted, I mean, you Cerakoted the block, right?
yeah, block, heads, valve covers, intake manifold, valley, the whole intake is done.
Suspension.
Yeah, so, and then like even down here for the splitter mounts is all done in Cerakote, and so it was worth it. It was a good learning experience. I would do it again.
So what all are we looking at over here? Because some of the stuff, obviously I can see what we're doing. You know, it looks like you're running, you know, not power brakes. I remember you had power brakes and you got rid of that shit quick.
Yeah, that was a learning experience in itself, figuring out pedal ratios for these trucks and master cylinder bore size, and then getting everything working together. I have to admit, like, the Willwood master cylinder is a pain in the ass to bleed, and it was probably the biggest issue I ever had. And I talked to a lot of different people that were Willwood dealers, and they kind of said the same thing. It's just, you get it when you get it, and that's just the way that it works. And so, but I have very good functioning brakes now. So, and then, yeah, I've got the Outcast AutoWorks lower control arm mounts in the back that uses a pretty sweet little shim. All the silver shims in there, those are to adjust your caster with. So you pretty much have infinite caster adjustment with them, and I really recommend that versus a weld-on bracket if you're going to be
doing
racing it at all.
Okay.
You're probably fine if you're not going to race it. You don't need a lot of caster adjustment, but even then, I think this is an easier system than a weld-on plate. It's just designed way better. It's got a more solid bushing. You're not relying on turning the stock bushing and the stock Crown Vic stuff, and so just way better. So, but yeah, LS3, it's got headers off of a C10. They're made for a C10, made by Speed Engineering. They fit like a glove. I couldn't ask for a better fitting header, really. And then the transmission's 4L80E, and then I've got a 3800 stall torque converter, Rebuilder's torque converter in it. They're out of Las Vegas.
Like you said before, all the Holley stuff. And
yeah, Holley everything. Holley Terminator X, the Holley high ram, Holley valve covers, obviously fuel rails.
What kind of radiator setup you running?
Chevy C10. So I got rid of the stock radiator. I wanted to lay something back so that it worked better with the heat extractors, and the factory Ford radiator just wasn't doing it. It made hoses harder to deal with. It made leaning it back was almost impossible. And this radiator, basically, I've got a 160-degree thermostat in this thing, and it runs 170 degrees all the time. Even out here in Vegas, when it was 95 to 100 this last weekend, it never got over 180 degrees racing.
Awesome.
So it really does a nice job. So still got full AC. I've got Restomod air conditioning in it. All the hoses and everything are hidden and ran along the frame. Everything's tucked away, and the compressor's mounted real low. It works very, very good.
And then obviously, because you're running these fenders, I mean, these fenders probably bolt on to regular, but you don't have any of your inner fenders and stuff. So
correct.
You had to build a whole like exo structure.
Yeah, for the most part. This was more, so I did just aluminum angle iron here for the fenders that bolt to the firewall back there, just to give the fenders some support up top for leaning against it for doing maintenance and stuff like that. I mean, nobody wants to crack a carbon fiber fender, so. And then the whole radiator support just uses some triangulation to kind of hold it together, and it bolts to the frame, and then bolts to the upper radiator support, and it just, I mean, everything's solid. It doesn't go anywhere. The whole truck moves before any of that moves. So.
Nice.
Yeah, and then to kind of bypass not having inner fenders, I went with nobody, I don't know, so this was a year ago, nobody was really making a hinge setup that either A, wasn't ridiculously expensive, or really anything, to be honest with you. There was no hinges that would really work without inner fenders except for one manufacturer. Now that's changed. There's a couple different ones available that bolt into the upper arms, but these are just F600 hinges, and they work really well. And they're not heavy. They're a little bit bulky, but they, quite honestly, they do their job. I can't see myself really ever having to change them for anything or any reason, so they'll just continue to be here. I like how wide the hood opens with the F600 hinges.
Yeah. And I mean, they're probably not that heavy, you know. They're just...
They really aren't. I can't even imagine. I don't think you'd save any weight going to anything else. The other hinges right now that I've seen that are actually being produced are steel. I don't think they'd be any lighter than these ones. I know that there's some aluminum hinges out there. I've heard bad things about durability, so I won't even think about running them for the cost.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it still has all the features. It's just race truck. So
what's the, like, what's your brake setup? What's your wheel and tire setup? Yeah. So
the wheels are Weld S71s. The front wheels are 6.2 back spacing with, of course, it's got the Crown Vic front suspension. So basically, that's the offset you have to run with this if you want to run an 18x10, which is what I'm running. The rear is also an 18x10, but I'm on an Explorer 8.8 axle, so they're, I think, 4 inches narrower than a stock axle. So when doing so, you get stuck either running wheel spacers or a custom wheel. With what I do with the truck, I didn't want to run spacers, so we went the custom wheel route. They're also an 18x10, but they're 4-inch back spacing.
Okay.
And they're 295, 40/18. Falcon Azenis RT660 tire on all 4, the same size. And it does really well. I mean, it hooks pretty good with these tires. So
okay.
Once I get some of the suspension stuff dialed in and learn to drive better, she definitely can be a contender.
And on the brakes? So
the brakes are Andrew's Tuning Performance. He puts together a package with the Willwood calipers. So he used the Willwood caliper, and then he's got a bracket that he machines himself. And then this is just a Mustang GT 500 rotor. So
nice.
I mean, you could really get whatever you want. I know they make like carbon fiber rotors and, I mean, whatever you want for
fancy
a Mustang
stuff.
Yeah, these are just auto parts store rotors.
Yeah.
And the good thing about this whole setup is the rotors are replaceable. If you want to go to AutoZone in the middle of an event and get a new set of rotors because you wiped a set out, they stock them and they're like 60 bucks a piece. So it makes this kit real budget. I want to say that Andrew sells it for $1,000-ish, somewhere around there. Might be plus or minus, but for what you're getting, it's a lot better than the stock Crown Vic stuff. So, and then the rear brakes, they're just a bolt-on kit from Willwood. They're made for a 4.9-inch, but what a lot of people don't realize is that the Explorer 8.8 axle uses the same big bearing housing ends as a 9-inch.
Really?
Yeah, so they have the same drill pattern. And so they don't make a big brake kit for an Explorer 8.8, but they do for a 9-inch. So I was able to use just an off-the-shelf brake kit from Willwood for that, and that's
awesome.
It's like a 13-inch brake kit, but it does what it needs to do. I mean, the truck's light in the rear, so I don't need huge brakes back there. So, yeah, and then same thing back here. We've got Muncie Speed Design carbon fiber spoiler that we just got.
It's carbon fiber.
Full carbon fiber. And yeah, I mean, basically back here it's just stock.
What's the story with that bumper sticker?
Love the bumper sticker. I don't know. We left LS Fest one year and went through Beaver, Utah, and I saw the sticker and I'm like, I need that. So we threw it on the truck right there on the trailer at the gas station, and it's been there ever since.
That's
so
awesome.
Eventually the back bumper will be carbon fiber too, or at least overlaid in carbon fiber so I can keep the weight. And I'll replace that sticker. It's part of the truck for sure. So fuel tank is a tank sink tank. That's the one thing I want to change. I'll probably go to like some sort of aluminum tank with I don't know if I'll do like a Phantom in-tank pump or what. Right now I've got a Walboro 450 just in this tank now, but this tank has issues.
Okay.
So it's not going to be staying. So, and then yeah, I've got carbon fiber APR mirrors on it. I just built little base plates for, and they work out real good. And then on the inside here, we've got the Kirky seats, the big boy seats, and I had a bench seat in it before. It was comfortable, but it was not for racing at all. So, and as you can see, we've got all the other Muncie Speed and Design carbon fiber dash bezel, under dash bezel for the AC, glove box, radio stuff. So we're pretty decked out with Muncie. He's a big supporter of mine, and I love the guy to death. So he's really good to me. So Yeah, I think that's pretty much the whole truck. So,
I mean, the one thing this truck looks like it does is some good burnouts.
you're killing me. I'll do a little burnout.
Well, I'm just saying.
I know, but I have another racing event to do next weekend.
I'm not going to be there to see any burnout.
I know. All right, let's close it up and do a little burnout.
Hell yeah. See? That's exactly what you do. You got to scumbag your friends into doing burnouts. It's kind of a must. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to give you guys one more walk around of this truck. And I guess Josh will start her up. We'll be able to hear how she sounds. And then I guess we'll see if there's any fun.
I don't know if I just broke my transmission or what I just broke.
What? No.
I swear to God.
There's no fluid leaking.
Maybe it was gravel. That's what it was. It was gravel in my, probably in my damn transmission cooler fan.
All right, so we confirmed that I didn't break his transmission.
Thankfully. So we got another race the next weekend to do, so we got to be on top of our game.
Woo!
I know. I was
Crisis averted.
Yeah, no kidding.
Dude, this thing boogies.
Oh yeah.
She gets down.
So, not bad for an LS.
Yeah, right?
So, yeah, no, it's pretty happy with it.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna get a little bit of rolling footage. We're gonna hop in, go for a drive. Obviously, we're gonna bring you guys along. So we'll see you then. All right, now we're in it, rolling around. We got Josh behind the wheel, so I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. But you know, it's definitely a race truck, dude. Like when you get into the Kirkies, you know you're in a race truck.
Yeah, 100%. It's a fun truck for sure.
Yeah, she feels great. Honestly, it's not too loud unless you slam on it.
No, the exhaust being that it's dumped under the ass end, it drones, but these trucks are kind of hard to get the exhaust to the back once you do like a 4-link and stuff, and I've got a rear-mounted fuel tank, so it's pretty much impossible anyway with my fabrication skills to get the exhaust off the back like I would like it to be. So something I need to work on. It'll happen eventually.
What I find awesome about this is like it might be, you know, would you say it's pretty much a race truck, like a full-on race truck?
Yeah, but at the same time we got AC, so we can
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
We can still do whatever we want. The radio I haven't finished up or anything on yet, but
what's this crazy texture thing that everything's got on it?
all the carbon fiber from Jeff Muncie with Muncie Speed and Design. He is the carbon fiber king.
Heck yeah.
So
I mean, you got suede headliner, friggin' leather dash,
yep,
all carbon fiber, and then race truck.
Yeah, pretty much. Definitely a good mixture of both. To where
Woo! You did not prepare me for that.
but yeah, it's definitely a good mixture of race truck and a little bit of comfort. Not that these seats are the most comfortable ever, but
yeah, you throw the bench seat back in and kind of.
Yeah, these seats do what they're meant to do. I had that bench seat in here before, and
good dog.
Yeah, he looks like he's had a rough life.
Oh man.
So
We're gonna show you guys a little bit more of the truck in a minute. I'm gonna get some cool footage in it, and see you then. Alright everybody, thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had a fun time filming it. I think I need to change my shorts after telling me I almost broke that transmission. I didn't break it, but because of me it would have broke. Didn't happen. Anyway, if you liked the video, consider giving us a thumbs up. It really helps. Like the content, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next one. See you later.